Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nurse Akosia, and today I want us to talk about my first code blue. So let's get started. So as we all know, back in Ghana, we do not do anything called code blue. So coming to the United States, these are things that are new to you, and how you handle it is actually everything. So there's this thing when you are working in the United States as a health professional, you are required to have a basic life support certification. That is the BLS. You have to get the BLS certification due to the fact that the code blue is a thing over here. So as I was saying, with the BLS, you're supposed to have it just to know the basics of the whole code blue thing. So what happened is I had a patient, and this patient was transferred over to my unit. The patient was a new admission, and I was actually assessing the patient with my charge, and this patient coded. Code blue basically means when there is a respiratory arrest or there is a cardiac arrest. It means that the patient is not breathing anymore or the patient's heart stopped beating. However, most of the times it's actually because the patient's heart stopped beating. And so when we were assessing the patient's heart stopped beating, and we actually verified it. You verify it with a carotid artery. And so when you verify that the heart is not beating anymore, that is when you call for help. The first thing that you do is call for help. But then there were two of us. And so my charge pulled the code blue button, and then I also started with the chest compressions. And so when I started with the chest compression, what happened is whilst I was doing that, it takes like a few minutes for the code blue team to show up. Whilst I was doing the chest compression, my charge went to get the crash cart. And this is how the crash cart looks like. It has everything that is needed during a code. And so she brought the crash cart, and actually what happens during a code is when the code blue team shows up, you, the primary nurse, the nurse that is responsible for the patient, you are supposed to be standing outside with your WOW or the patient's information so that whatever question they ask, you will be able to provide the answers to them. And trust me, they're going to ask a lot of questions. This was a new admission for me, so I didn't know much about the patient. However, since I had the patient's information right in front of me, I was able to open wherever they wanted the information from, and then we just go ahead and then I just give that information out to them. And what happens is also during a code, and in my hospital, we have a code session that we give to all the health professionals so that we will be able to be on top of our game when there is a code blue. So during before the start of every shift, there is a huddle, and then during that huddle, we give out various assignments during a code. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a code blue, but then we're going to make sure that we're prepared when the code blue comes in, when we get a code blue. And so here's what happens. At that time that they pull the button for the code blue, it actually sounds an alarm in the entire unit. And that alarm, everybody understands. We have the, it's the call light phone system or something, and it shows on there that there is a code blue in this particular room. Apart from that, there is a blue light that actually blinks, and it blinks in front of that patient's room. I don't know for other hospitals, but this is my experience that I'm talking about. So that blue light keeps blinking, and it comes with a specific alarm. And that alarm, if you have been working for a while, you get used to that alarm that this actually means there is a code blue. And then What happens is with the entire unit, everybody takes on the assignment that was given to them. That is basically, we do have one person that actually takes notes, as in the minutes, everything that happens. They're gonna write everything that happened during the code blue, whatever medications that were given at what time, what happened at this time, and what did they do. That person is gonna take. We have those who are going to give the chest compression, because with the chest compression, one person cannot do it. Trust me, you will get tired. And so we have like three, or depending on how many people we're able to get, people who are going to give the chest compressions. So one person will be giving the chest compressions, and then they just switch like that, and another person continues with the chest compression. We have the person who is going to draw the medication. We have code blue team itself actually have whoever is doing this and whoever is doing that. But when they get to your unit, they want to make sure you guys know what you are about. They know you, they want to know that who is doing this, who is doing that, and who is doing that, and everything goes on smoothly. And trust me, it is very, very dramatic, and it's beautiful. It's just that somebody is losing their life. Yeah. So that's the sad thing about it. But looking at it and comparing to where I'm coming from, actually, trust me, it is something actually very beautiful. It's yeah, it's organized, and everybody, we're all involved, and we're all trying to bring the patient back, and it we're working as a team. And yeah, as I keep saying, it is very dramatic. And so that is basically what you do. What happens is, I was giving out the information about the patient, but then if they need extra hand, I seen I was right close to the crash cart. So whatever they need, and maybe they didn't get the person because the person is actually doing something else, I just help out. So that is basically what I did. I started a compression, and then I gave information about the patient when they need, and then I also assist if I can. And yeah, so we went on and on about this, and they were giving all kinds of medication. They were doing this, they were doing that. And there are people who are also standing around, about two or three people, that if they need something, go get this, go get that, go get this and that. They rush to the supply room and get all these things. So that is how my code blue, actually, my first code blue went. The co-doctor actually sees me every day, and she starts laughing at me. She knows I'm not used to it. However, since I am not a part of the code blue team itself, at least if I want to be a part of the code blue team, I think it has a process where you have to go through to be able to become part of that team. And I think you have to be working in critical care to be able to be a part of that team. I don't know how it works, but I think that is it. And also, you should have an ACLS. My ACLS, I'm about to get it, and I already registered for it. My hospital is actually going to give me that training on that. But yes, it was beautiful. One thing I want to say about that is it is beautiful. It is organized, and it shows teamwork. And yeah, it makes you feel that you actually did something for the patient. Unlike where I come from, actually, what it made me realize is that it means that in Ghana, every patient is like a DNR, that is, do not resuscitate until, maybe, let's say we were just standing there talking to you, and then all of a sudden you just fainted and you aren't breathing, and and that's when they start that whole resuscitation thing. But I really admire how things are done with regards to the code blue. And the amazing thing is, just when the crash cart was taken off and brought into the room, a new crash cart was brought back. They replaced it immediately. And trust me, that is not the only crash cart. We have two crash cart on the unit. There's one on the one side of the unit, and there's another on one other side of the unit. And then they always make sure that they are prepared in case there is a code blue. So when that button is pulled, that is when it sends the message, and it is announced in the entire hospital that there is a code blue in this specific unit. So it goes like code blue. And let's say if it's room 5 in this unit, then they just announce exactly where the code blue is. This, I believe, is because they want to make sure that somebody can code anywhere. They can even code in the cafeteria, they can code anywhere. So they give the announcement so that if the code blue is going, or if there's somebody going to assist, they will know. Let's say I'm standing somewhere close to the cafeteria. I am a nurse and I can help with chest compressions, and there is a code blue right beside me. I can just go there, help out until I'm not needed there anymore. So basically, I think that's actually the reason why they go ahead and announce code blue. Wherever you are in the hospital, you're going to hear when there is a code blue. And sometimes code blue can happen back to back. Trust me, I have a friend who had a back to back code blue, and they had to bring her flowers because it was stressful. Yes, it was stressful. And so yeah, that is what happened with my code blue. Unfortunately, the patient didn't make it. However, I was able to see how things are done here, especially with the code blue. I watch movies and I see what goes on, but it actually, observing it is, and being part of it is actually a different thing altogether. The adrenaline, like, the whole drama and everything, it's really interesting. It is beautiful, but at the same time it is a sad moment for somebody because the person is actually trying to they're fighting for their lives. And so that is how my first code blue went. And yeah, so I learned a lot from that. And so, yeah, that is basically it. And thank you for watching. To all my subscribers, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly hit on the subscribe button below and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you and have a great day.